Hey foodies, what's up? So today we have a video I'm not super excited to make, but it's one that I feel I need to make. It's one that I make out of a place of love and not out of a place of hatred. So I have had a major issue lately, and I thought maybe I was the only one, but after doing some research around YouTube especially, I realized I'm not the only one who's picked up on this, and I think it needs to be addressed if Dead by Daylight is going to continue to be successful, if they are going to reach the levels of acclaim that I would like for this game to, and for behavior to. Uh, Again, I want to stress at the forefront, I do not hate this game. I do not hate the developers. I'm not angry per se. I'm concerned more than anything. And I think that we're already seeing the downsides of what's going to happen if behavior does not change their ways. So I realize that unfortunately by making this video I will likely never get to be a fog whisperer. And that's unfortunate because that's a thing I would like to do at some point. I'd be very open to the thought of being a fog whisperer. However, I would rather put this out there and potentially change the game for the better. And, if that gets me blacklisted or whatever, so be it. Uh, I'm not going to sit back and watch the game slowly die if I think I have advice that can help it, that can save it. And my advice, you likely can gather from the thumbnail. Uh, it's It's not an original idea. I'm not the first one to float this. But I never thought it was necessary until I actually looked into it. So let's go on, let's say it. Dead by Daylight should be free to play. Point blank and a period. This should be a free to play game. This game started out one thing and has transitioned into another thing. So when Dead by Daylight was first released, you you buy the base game, you have Trapper, you have Hillbilly, you have Wraith on the killer side. Each one, coming maybe not Wraith, but the other two come with some pretty decent perks. And then you get Meg, Dwight, Jake, and Claudette on the survivor side, who all have pretty great perks as well. So if you bought the game at launch, though it was a buggy mess and there was a lot that they needed to fix and have fixed, you could still look at the launch state of the game and you could say, okay, well, this is one thing. I buy this and I have what I need to go on, play some online shenanigans. I can't wait to see what this game becomes over the next 4 years. But then you do flash forward 4 years and you look at what the game is now. And what the game is now is just this money pit. You will never give behavior enough money with the current model of the game. And that really makes me sad because there was a time where it looked to me like they were going to be a fairly generous developer team. But now it feels like it almost Dead by Daylight feels almost like a mobile app these days, where if you log on to Raid Shadow Legends or AFK Arena, I don't know what are all the. I'm trying to go off of. I don't really play mobile games. I tried them because I wanted to make sure I wasn't blindly hating things. And yeah, everything's monetized, and the same goes for Dead by Daylight. So I'm gonna put it up on the screen here, and you can look and you can see how much the DLC alone costs. Right. So this is a $20 game right now. And I've heard people make the case that, well, look, they have free to play weekends. They put it on sale fairly regularly. Yes, they do. But that's kind of misleading, isn't it? Because they tell you, "Oh, it's a free to play weekend." And then you hop in, you want to play, but you realize I can't really play many of the characters. I'm gonna have to shell out a couple more dollars for this. So I'm gonna have to look at my other monitor, make sure I get the numbers right here. But okay, so if you want the entirety of Dead by Daylight's DLC, you're going to spend, as of recording this, which is November 9th, 2020, you will spend $142. That does not include the base game. It's $162 if you're just talking about the base game, which is just an insane amount of money for what we're getting, frankly. Which is, and this is a whole different thing. I'm not going to go off into this, but what you're paying for with Dead by Daylight is a one game mode video game that is written in spaghetti code. So the bugs are just infinite and game breaking. Just yesterday, I was playing with one of my friends, and I was trying to run from Michael Myers, and I got stuck on the hill again. And it's like, I thought we fixed this. I thought we fixed this bug, but I got stuck on the hill. So I don't know what to tell you. That bug is apparently back, but we're paying $162, which you can say, oh, well, you don't have to pay that, but that's not true. And also, I want to throw one thing out here. In the name of intellectual honesty, not everyone's going to buy the soundtrack to the game, which is $10. Not everybody's going to buy the charity case. Not everybody is going to buy... The old way they used to do cosmetics was through DLC. Now it's through the... I almost called it the Atomic Shop, which... Oh, that's some word association. If you don't know, that's from Fallout 76, and it's been just mauled by the online community for how money grubbing it is, and that's not good that I'm associating the two, but Freudian slip, I suppose. But the point is, you don't have to spend $162. If you knock out the clothing packs, you knock out the soundtrack and things like that, you get down to $118 to own every killer and survivor. So instead of the $162, we could do $138. So about $140. Now, at the time of recording, we're about to get the release of a new killer. The PTB will be coming out, I believe, this Tuesday. Maybe it's the next Tuesday. But the point is, another DLC is right around the corner, as it always is. Another DLC is always around the corner. Another Rift is always around the corner. And at risk of kind of darting all over the place, the Rift is something that has potential to be one of the better parts of the game. You play through and you earn things, and you say, hey, this is good. I'm essentially getting free cosmetics. But I ran the numbers on this. If you go the free track, you get 22 items, and most of them are charms. If you go the paid track, you get 70 items, and you get, yes, some charms, but you also get a lot of cosmetics, which is what we know you actually want. You get cosmetics, you get auric cells. It's essentially, it's kind of a see-through thing they're going for there. But look, this is not unique to behavior. Season passes are popping up all over gaming, and what amount of acceptance you have for them may depend on what your background is as a gamer. If you've been in gaming for a really long time, they probably really bother you. If you're younger and you've grown up, sincerely, if your first memories of gaming are things like Fortnite, you probably look at season passes as just a part of gaming. For me personally, I've been gaming, since the Nintendo 64. I played so much Nintendo 64 growing up, so much GameCube, Game Boy. I mean, you're talking about a guy in me who has played a lot of video games, so season passes really do just kind of rub me the wrong way. It's not the biggest deal. It's not a game breaker for me. But again, it points out to me what Dead by Daylight has become in terms of monetization. So if you want the clown, he's my main, he's the killer I play the most, but if you want the clown so you can get Pop Goes the Weasel, you're going to have to do one of two things. Basically, I guess what I should say is if you want Pop Goes the Weasel, which is a very viable perk, it makes playing killer way easier. It's very meta. If you want that perk, you have two options. You can pay for the clown DLC outright, get the clown, get Kate Denson, get Pop Goes the Weasel, or you can wait to save up the not the auric cells. What's the other? They have two types of currency. I forget what the shards, the iridescent shards. you can grind and grind and grind and eventually get the iridescent shards to either buy the clown outright in the store, or you can wait until it pops up in the Shrine of Secrets, which could be next week, it could be several months from now, and you could get it that way. But again, this goes back to my point of it's not just that Dead by Daylight costs a lot of money to get into, and it really, really does. It costs a lot of money to get into. To me, the issue is not just that. The issue is that it's essentially pay to win at this point, because you keep releasing these new characters, and with each character they release, you get 3 new perks. And some of these perks are garbage. You know, you might have bought the Demogorgon DLC because you love Stranger Things or the Demogorgon looks cool. I love the Demogorgon. It's one of my favorite killers to play. But the issue with the Demogorgon is it has terrible perks. All of its perks are just absolutely garbage. So that's fine. But somebody who doesn't buy any DLC, they may not be at a disadvantage for not having the Demogorgon's perks, but they're most definitely at a disadvantage for not having the Hag and the latest killer who was the Blight. I don't know why I struggled on his name there. The Blight. If you don't have the Hag and the Blight, you can't do the new Ruin and Undying meta. You just can't do it. And they're not going to put Undying in the Shrine of Secrets this close to the Blight being released. So you just got to shell out the cash to stay competitive. And this goes back to my point. This game, which I love Dead by Daylight. I'm not coming at this from a place of hatred. But this game is consistently asking you for more and more money. Look at the shop they have. Look at the shop they have. They have valued 100 Auric cells at $1. For every $1 you spend, you get 100 Auric cells, which you may think, oh, 100 of this type of currency for $1. But then you realize you can't buy anything with 100 Auric cells. In fact, if you want the really cool costumes, you're going to need over 1,000. It's, 1,020, 1,080. It's just enough over it that you're going to have to buy Auric cells twice, right? So you either have to buy one of the bigger packs, that is, or you can combine the $10 pack and the $5 pack. And again, that's for one skin. That is for one skin. If I'm a Jeff main, right? If I want to go get Jeff's Mad Max outfit they released, which was really cool, I wear it very frequently. I did buy it. I'm owning up to that. I spent over $10 to get that one costume for my character, and I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's, to me, they could really do with cutting these prices down. But even if they're not, which I don't think they will, hypothetically, let's say you leave the costume shop alone, which is what I'm calling it because I forget what they call it. You leave the shop alone. You don't adjust Auric cells. You don't make it where we can earn iridescent shards at a quicker rate. Fine. You don't do any of that. You need to go free to play. And I'm also going to put this out there, and this may be the point of like blaspheme. Every non-licensed DLC should be free. Period. This is, to me, I'm baffled that they're going to charge us, what is it, like $8 per DLC? I mean, this adds up. And when this so intrinsically, wow, I messed up that word the first time around. When it's such a core part of balance that you have the newest perks, I'm shocked that people are not calling this out for being blatant pay to win, which it is. This is pay to win. This is not. And I know some people may in the comments put something like, well, just get good. You can win with the base perks. Yes, you can win with them, but that's not the point. That's kind of missing the point just to flex that, oh, I'm better at the game. Yes, okay, fine. But you shouldn't have to, right? You shouldn't have to. You should not have to have top-notch skill to compete with somebody who's worse than you but put more money into the game. That seems crazy to me. That's just not a thing I want to see. I do remember when I got into the game, and I was not there at launch. When I got into the game, this was probably about a month, maybe 2 months before the clown was released. He was my first DLC, and I remember that the community was really optimistic because the devs had said they want to do as much free DLC as they can. So I looked this up. I looked up when the last free DLC was. And again, this is being made early November 2020. That's when this video is being made. Do you want to know what the last DLC was that was totally free and when it came out? Unless I'm forgetting something. Unless I missed something. It was The Huntress, Lullaby in the Dark, which came with The Huntress and David King, which came out in July 2017. That blows my mind that they have not thrown us a bone since July 2017. And sure, Huntress was a great killer. Nurse was a great killer. Both of them came out for free. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? If you are talking about characters you will have to pay $0 to acquire, you're talking about the Nurse, you're talking about the Huntress, you're talking about Nia Carlson, and you're talking about David King. Four characters. And that we're talking about a game that has almost 50 characters. 4 of them are completely free. Because the original 4 survivors and 3 killers, they come with the base game. You have to buy your way in to play them. Every other DLC character, you have to buy that DLC. I feel like at this point, they've asked for too much, and it's starting to come back and bite them. Now, we can criticize the Halloween event all we want. And look, just putting it out there, it may prove to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? In a vacuum, it's not a big deal that they gave a really weak Halloween event. But some people are criticizing the fact that all you had to do was put people on event hooks or repair event generators and occasionally harvest a canker, right? And I agree, what a weak Halloween event. And for a horror game, by the way, your strongest event should be your Halloween event. Not your Christmas event, not your Chinese New Year event. Your strongest event should be the one based around the spooky holiday if you are a horror game. But I digress. The reason the Halloween event killed the player count in the way that it did, and if you're interested, the numbers show that Dead by Daylight saw a drop of about 9,000 players on average over the course of the Halloween event, which I want to give credit to a channel I think called Dead by Daylight. I think is I think that's the channel's name. I'm going to look at this right now because it's in my history. His video was actually the one that made me finally decide to talk about this. No, he's Terrico. I will put a card referencing his channel. He makes really good content. I will be excited. I will be excited. He's a little more negative than I am, but I get it. I'm a bit of an optimist, so I like to think they can figure this out. They can turn around. If you're more drawn to kind of the negative content, which, by the way, I'm not saying he's just out here. That's the whole thing. He's a great content creator. I'm not judging him. I'm just saying everybody approaches things differently. But it was his content where he showed me that on average, they drop about 3,000 players during the Halloween event, which is already concerning because people criticize the Dead by Daylight Halloween events, but what are people going to? Junkenstein's Revenge? Really? Like, what Halloween event is just a banger that people are going to? Maybe Fortnite does a good one because for all the trash that gets thrown at Fortnite, right? And I have plenty to say about Fortnite. They give it their all with their events. As I understand it. I don't play Fortnite. I've played it maybe twice in my life. I don't play it. I'm just wondering where these people are going. And it makes me wonder, did Dead by Daylight lose 6,000 players more than average this time around because the event was weak? Or did they lose 6,000 more players because of what the event represented, right? Not only was it a minimum effort event, this was an event where for the first time in the company's history, you couldn't unlock one of the Halloween skins, which, by the way, really frustrated me. It really frustrated me because I logged in and I saw the Felix skin and I saw the Feng Min skin and I was like, wow, these are good. I like these a lot. I can't wait to grind and unlock these. And then I had the option of either buying it or not having it. You couldn't unlock it, which blew my mind. Just blew my mind. The Halloween event really seemed to be a breaking point for a lot of players. Now, again, I'm about to end it here, and I'm going to say I love Dead by Daylight. I think many horror fans in particular love Dead by Daylight. I will continue to play Dead by Daylight. I will continue to report on Dead by Daylight. I want what's best for this video game. But I think that currently you look at behavior, right? And their hand is doing this. They're asking for money. What they need to do is flip it over. They need to be giving. They need to win back some community love. And, you know, even if they eventually go back to kind of greedy practices, in the very least, they could buy some love from the community with this upcoming chapter, whatever it is. Maybe it's a Wendigo, maybe it's, you know, whatever. If they put this one out for free, that's going to win over people. That's going to win over people who have said that they just can't keep putting up with this greed. There are going to be some people who come back. And if the next non-licensed DLC is free, that's going to win over more people. You need to go free to play. You need to make every non-licensed DLC free to play. I'm not asking you to change the shop. The shop is greedy, but any game with a shop, the shop is greedy. That's just how that works. Please, 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 Dead by Daylight, fix your game. So many people, and I say Dead by Daylight, I should actually address, please, 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 behavior, fix your game. So many people love Dead by Daylight. I have over 2,000 hours of my life put into this game. I am a Dead by Daylight fanatic. But you have made the barrier to entry to this game crazy. Absolutely massive. I cannot stress how much it threw me for a loop when I switched from Xbox to PC about a year ago and I had to buy all the DLCs again. That was the first time I realized how much you were asking. And again, that was a year ago. We've had at least 4 DLCs since then, which is going to be about $40. I really don't want this game to die. I don't want this game to fade away, to go down that path of infamy that it seems to be marching down. Please go free to play. Please make the DLCs free to play. Again, not the licensed ones. I get it why you can't make those free to play. But I'm just asking you to save your game because so many people do truly love it and we want what's best for it. But that's going to be my 2 cents. I did not intend for this to be a 25-minute video. Please do let me know down below in the comments how you feel about this situation. If you agree with me, or if you think I'm being overly dramatic or that I'm wrong. I'm always open to those, to either of those perspectives. But yeah, I can't lie, guys. I'm a little disappointed the more that I think about the state of this game. I hope it turns it around. Either way, I'll still be making videos. I'll still be playing the game, streaming the game, which I do stream on Twitch. Make sure you give me a follow there. I'm concerned, and I'm interested to hear if you are too. But that's going to do it for me. Until next time, bye, friends.